Hi everyone, we are GreenPath. We are really excited today to be presenting our new concept to you. I am Jess, here with my colleagues Brad, Jade, and also Owen. So a bit about our presentation today. We're going to go through the background of our concept, then the goals and intended outcome, methodology and procedures, and finally the budget. So the GreenPath mission is to create a positive, safe experience that utilizes the outdoors, green spaces in New York City and surrounding areas. This will help combat mental illness and depression. So as a group, when we were researching some of the impacts that COVID-19 has had on not just New York, but also America and the world in terms of mental health, we were really shocked to discover just how much of an impact it has really had on people's health. In fact, major depressive disorder is actually the single greatest source of disability in New York City. So the problem we're faced with is actually 39% of New Yorkers have been struggling with depression or depression-like symptoms, such as irritability, anxiety, and stress during the pandemic. This is absolutely huge. And when you actually realize how big a number that is, it's actually 2 million people in New York are really struggling right now with anxiety and depression during COVID.
So we're basically aiming to, build this app and platform that will offer support to those experiencing some of these, symptoms and depressive disorders. And we saw an opportunity due to the increased percentage of, the population here in New York City that, COVID had this effect on. And, we hope to, promote good health, both physically and mentally, by encouraging, these participants and, moving forward, have these guided experiences through nature and help educate those people as well. Looking at our research, the benefits of being outdoors, I know I can feel it when I step outside and just immediately feel better after a long day or a stressful day at work or whatever you might be dealing with on that given day. And there's been, loads of research, whether that's you're lowering your blood pressure, reducing anxiety, your cortisol levels, all these different things have been, researched, and that's what helped, motivate us. And of course, living in urban areas, NASA actually found that those dwelling in cities have a higher neural activity, which we can relate to as well. You're constantly being met with different distractions, immediately, stepping outside your apartment or home on any given day in the city. On another level, in Canada, there was a First Nature prescription program called PARX, and they actually help provide Canadians with passes to the national parks there. And, we hope to potentially partner with them, as well as sort of look at how their, plan is implemented. And lastly here, looking at Sarah's journey, this is a little user map we kind of built, of course, feeling depressed and lonely at home, leading to our platform, signing up for GreenPath and utilizing, our features, going for walks in nature, hopefully making new friends through her experience on our platform as well, which ultimately leads to a happier, less depressed and, lonely time.
So through this platform, we want to make sure that we keep 4 things in mind. The first is experience. And so we want to make sure that not only the experience through our mobile app, as well as the in-person experience through our activities are seamless and beneficial. As Owen mentioned, we really care about community. We see this as a way to build community in people, as well as, care for your health and mental wellness. And then at the end of the day, you can learn more about nature and your surroundings. Briefly going to go over our implementation plan. And so upon onboarding, users will be asked a series of questions, and we want to make sure that this entire process is personalized. And then we also want to make sure that we are sourcing and vetting our team, and then encouraging use of our app through reminders, and then also consider some contingency plans, because anything could happen in terms of weather or location. So what does it mean to be outside? We thought of kind of like 4 sample activities that we want to think of as we move forward with this plan, such as hikes in upstate New York, organized soccer games, photo walks in Central Park, as well as group bike rides. We also want to offer the opportunity for peers to chat with one another in groups, or have one-on-one sessions with mental health professionals if that's something that they need. So we will be launching this in New York City and surrounding audiences, with the plan of taking this not only throughout the United States, but around the world, in our 3 different phases as we focus on depression and anxiety. So these are 3 personas that we're considering, and just kind of considering what their levels of digital literacy are, as well as the amount of money that they have to spend on mental health services. So the first is young professionals, and then the next are our working professionals, who kind of are that sweet spot of having more disposable income and a pretty moderate digital literacy rate. And then we also thought that the aging population can benefit from this program the most, but however, we have to tackle the issue of low digital literacy rates, as well as low disposable income. And so, as I said, we're looking at a personalized approach. So the sign up process is really where we'll start that entire process, through understanding, what is the physical level of our participants, as well as what do they like to do. And then throughout this, we will also encourage feedback throughout the process. In terms of recruitment and vetting, we want to be very intentional about who is leading these activities. And so we want leaders who have a background in psychology or wellness, and we'll recruit from universities or recent graduates that are in psychology programs. And then we will encourage our leaders to provide feedback also on the participants, to make sure that we're ensuring the safety of everyone involved.
So if we take a look at some of our potential partnerships here, we feel like we could really utilize some of the current cities that already have some of these networks in place, such as the New York City Parks Department and the Central Park Conservancy, as well as AARP, that could help us extend our reach to maybe some of the older and retired persons, as well as some potential funding and some capital resources such as Patagonia and REI. So taking a look quickly here at potential marketing, we're looking to highlight the New York City transit system, as well as possibly some locally targeted television spots, and some print media for local businesses, as well as hitting social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We hope to measure KPIs such as click-through rates, cost per impact, as well as customer retention through putting QR codes on our media. So if we quickly look at our startup budget, we're expecting to need $875,000 to get us through 6 months of working capital, with a monthly maintenance of $3,600. We're hoping that we can acquire some of this funding through strategic partnerships, as we mentioned before, with REI and Patagonia, as well as government grants. We're also hoping to monetize this platform. For our premium options, we may have additional experiences available to some of our paid members, as well as advertising options on our platform. So with that being said, we need to consider some of the potential considerations here. Data security being chief among them, making sure that everyone's data is personally stored. Geographical limitations as far as how the ability for our users to be able to be matched up with the physical output of the actual activities. Personal comfort within the groups and people being comfortable with one another, as well as Jade mentioned earlier, inclement weather and what to do in the event of trips having to be canceled, and as well as receiving lack of feedback. So why is GreenPath important? Well, with such a significant population of experiencing the feelings of stress and anxiety, GreenPath will be an oasis of hope. Gathering participants in nature to experience the healing provided by shared experiences in these green spaces will really bring into focus the need to maintain and protect our natural world. And by offering these shared experiences, GreenPath hopes to realize a future in which citizens are free of the stress caused by the uncertainty of living in an overpopulated world and embrace the beauty of nature. And with that being said, we thank you for your time and we look forward to your comments.